Bitter criticism, afternoon. Let's try to find out what's going on in Iran. Let's try Irna again. Irna. Oh, no. Irna. Let's try Irna. And here we go, Islamic Republic News Agency. Highlights from Irna News. Iran says US is enforcing quote-unquote law of the jungle, forcing other countries to resist. February 8th. Maybe it's today, yeah. Today. Tehran, there's a photograph. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi addresses a specialized panel on Iran's foreign policy in Tehran. Tehran, Irna. Foreign Minister Abbas Araghchi says the United States, under the administration of President Donald Trump, is enforcing the quote-unquote law of the jungle in the international arena, leaving other countries with no choice but to resist pressure and grow stronger. The foreign minister made the remarks on Sunday while answering questions at a specialized panel held as part of the two-day National Congress on Foreign Policy and the History of Foreign Relations. The Congress, which opened the same day, brings together Iranian diplomats and academics to discuss Iran's relations with other countries and the international system over past decades. Addressing the panel, Araghchi said the United States has always pursued a policy of using force to achieve its goals. In the past, he added, previous U.S. administrations saw international legitimacy to advance that policy, but the current president now implements it openly and explicitly. Under the Trump administration, the United States, quote-unquote, attacks any place it wants, abducts the president of any country it wants, and tells him to do what it intends. It tells another country to cede a specific island and tells another to change the name of a specific region. Yeah, for sure. Terrible, terrible, evil empire. Araghchi said, referring to Trump's order to attacks on Iranian nuclear sites in June 2025, the abduction of Venezuela's President Nicolas Maduro last month, and pressure on Denmark to give up Greenland. Quote, this situation in fact represents a return to the quote-unquote law of the jungle, where the stronger impose their will on others, end quote. The Iranian foreign minister said, emphasizing the need to become stronger in order to survive. Quote, therefore, there is no choice but to become strong. If you are weak, you will be crushed. This is the first principle of the law of the jungle, and the same principle behind quote-unquote peace through force. If you lack power, the peace they want will be imposed on you, end quote. Araghchi said, quote, for this reason becoming stronger is an obligation for us. Maybe he's talking about nuclear weapons, but who knows? For this reason, becoming stronger is an obligation for us. And one of the keys to gaining strength is the power of resistance, that is, the ability to stand firm against pressure, end quote. He added, noting that if Iran backs away even one step, we will be forced to make further concessions. Elsewhere in his remarks, the Iranian foreign minister stressed the need for a unified domestic voice on foreign policy, saying this will help Iran better withstand foreign pressure. That was just the first news from Irna.ir. Because he's not going to produce nuclear weapons, but anyway, let's read. Pezeshkian, Iran's nuclear logic based on rights enriched in NPT. And there's a picture of President Masoud Pezeshkian. It says, Tehran Irna. President Masoud Pezeshkian says recent Iran-US talks held with the follow-up of friendly regional governments mark a quote-unquote a step forward, stressing that Iran's nuclear logic is based on rights enriched in the Non-Proliferation Treaty. Rights enriched and enshrined in the Non-Proliferation Treaty. In a message posted on X on Sunday, Pezeshkian wrote that, quote, dialogue has always been our strategy for peaceful settlement, adding that, quote, our logic in the nuclear issue is the rights enshrined in the Non-Proliferation Treaty. He underlined that the Iranian nation, quote, has always responded to with respect, but does not tolerate language of force. I read this from CGTN 2, I guess, or Russia Today, but here we go. The new round of indirect nuclear talks between Iran and the US began on Friday morning in Muscat with the mediation of North Korea, not just kidding, of the Sultanate of Oman, and concluded several hours later. During the talks, the Iranian and US negotiating teams conveyed a set of views, considerations, and approaches to one another through Oman's foreign minister. And that was this is like the ASS from Russia. Short news is nice because it's very objective. There's no Russian propaganda. No, just joking. No Gazprom propaganda. And well, the last one from the highlights. It says Pezeshkian calls for faster implementation of solar projects nationwide. Well, that sounds propaganda. I hope Iran could develop nuclear weapons. And there's a photograph. President Masoud Pezeshkian attends a ceremony for the simultaneous inauguration of nearly 16,000 development projects nationwide, Tehran, February 8th. And there's Pezeshkian there. Tehran, Irna. President Masoud Pezeshkian says his administration is prioritizing solar power production projects and has called on officials across all provinces to help accelerate their implementation in order to prevent electricity cuts nationwide. The president made the remarks on Sunday during a ceremony in Tehran, attended virtually by state and provincial officials, marking the simultaneous inauguration of 15,997 development projects carried out by municipalities and village councils across Iran, according to a press release published on president.ir. That's interesting. President.ir. I wonder if Pezeshkian figured it out. I'm not saying this is absolutely interesting, but there's a site to check it out. According to a press release published on president.ir, the projects were inaugurated by order of President Pezeshkian on the occasion of the 47th anniversary of the Islamic Revolution. Pezeshkian said the administration has taken numerous measures to boost solar power generation as part of broader efforts to address energy imbalances. He urged majors and village heads nationwide to actively support the rollout of solar power projects to help avert electricity cuts next summer. Quote, I call on all governors, majors and village heads across the country to take the lead in expanding the use of solar and clean energy so that, with God's help, we will not face power outages in the coming summer, end quote. Pezeshkian said while expressing appreciation for local officials' efforts to implement development plans in their respective regions. Iran, which benefits from abundant sunshine due to its geographical location, has stepped up efforts under the Pezeshkian administration to expand solar power generation, aiming to protect the environment and meet growing domestic energy demand. Solar projects have remained a key item on the administration's domestic agenda since it took office in late July 2024, amid recurring power outages during summer months when energy consumption reaches record highs due to extreme heat. At the same time, the administration has focused on improving energy consumption patterns, particularly among households, arguing that current usage levels are significantly higher than global standards. And that was all. Yeah, sounds like Pezeshkian is a soft liner, not a hard liner like previous. I forgot the name of the previous. But Iran is suffering a lot. I guess the United States is just trying to destroy them. That's it. I guess the US will attack anyway.